Welcome back. You are listening and or watching Pwnecast. This is the 27th episode. We are in patch 6.0.2. I am your Warlock host, Belle. This week we have a ton of just random news to talk about, nothing too serious. We were supposed to have the Aussie admin Huge Bloke on the show. Unfortunately, the schedules conflicted a little bit at the last minute, and he did have other commitments that sadly were not as important as we should have been, in my opinion. But we are going to have him. We'll have him back on the show.
That's not how I saw it.
we'll have him back on the show. Which, it's all right. It's all good. But
he'll be back, yeah.
I did bring all of the writers of Rohan with me. I do have the mage with fiber issues, Frysa.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I was having an incident earlier today on Skype.
We know.
Didn't make it. No.
We know.
No. I was addicted to a game, and I couldn't get up.
The backstory is he told us he had to go to the bathroom, and we were told it was number 2, and he abruptly hung up the Skype call when me and him and Huge Bloke were on a Skype call, and we assumed, since we didn't hear from him after that he might not have made it to the bathroom. I also have the shaman who goes into Ghost Wolf's form to enter the women's locker room.
I learned that trick from the pervy old sage, so.
I don't really think there's anything wrong with it.
He taught me how to walk on water as well, so it's a good trick. You pop into Ghost Wolf. If you glyph your Ghost Wolf, you can get a water walking Ghost Wolf. So all you have to do is instant Ghost Wolf and start. You get a speed bonus and you get to walk on water.
It is a glyph.
It's handy in Battlegrounds, yeah.
It is a glyph. I also did make sure that I brought the Death Knight who makes caramel apples for his army of the dead. We have Lycan.
You guys are just jealous that I didn't send you my caramel apples in the mail yet.
They look delicious. He did give us a picture via chat of his caramel apples, and they looked so yummy.
What can I say? I'm a good housewife.
It's refreshing to see a man be domesticated. I dig that, and it might be the beard. That might be the reason that you are domesticated. I'm not 100% sure.
Right. I don't know what you're talking about. We got three guys that cook on this call.
So let's jump right into our week in WoW. Frysa, what did you do this week?
I kind of just messed around here and there. Kind of got bored a few times, did a couple LFRs, been trying to farm. I'm only farming right now for honor points on my Alliance Frysa, and I just learned to just queue for Altic Valley and, what was it, Conquest? Isle of Conquest, and I just do those two. It gets quite boring. I just watch Netflix while I play.
Tell the viewers and listeners why you queue for Altic Valley and Isle of Conquest as an Alliance player, because I want to hear the reasoning for this, and we're going to make some people mad right now, but let's hear it.
I know
I'm not going to be offensive. I'm just going to say that the Horde, somehow, they will manage to beat the Alliance in almost every battleground. But for some reason, when it comes to the big game, it's like they all just turn off their brain and just give up. They don't know how to play big battlegrounds, a Horde. They've never known how to do it. I don't remember this since the day they did.
Except for Rathamus. Rathamus does do the Wrath Strat for AV. He's the creator of the first WoW public vent, and he does have, it's called the Wrath Strat, and he does organize large Horde Premades, and I can tell you that I have been the victim as an Alliance player in Wrath Strat, and it's embarrassing. But yes, you are
not him personally, but I've been part of that strategy.
Alliance for the win.
Alliance wins Altic Valley about 99.9% of the time, and Isle of Conquest about 99.9%.
The other battlegrounds, though, Horde annihilates. The Temple,
absolutely.
Warsong Gulch, I mean, literally Horde annihilates, and I can't even...
And Horde is just dominate everything.
Agreed.
Recently.
Well, forever, since the nature of history of everything dominates. So don't get upset, Alliance players, because we're pretty badass, but we have to give credit where credit's due. It's pretty even keel with Alliance and Horde. They're better at some things, we're better at some things. It's kind of even keel. Spam, what did you do? I know you didn't do anything, and I'm going to depress you because you've been working.
She's going to just pop my bubble right there.
I know.
I've been working. I've been burning the candle at both ends. So I'm going to talk about what I would be doing. They give us a new 5-man dungeon with the pre-patch. I'd be milking it like every day.
Not good. It's not good.
Every day. It's not good. Don't like it. Not impressed. Why? Tell me. Yes. I'm all ears.
I attribute that to tanks learning how to tank all over again, and because we're so used to walking into a heroic dungeon and just massacring everything, unfortunately what we're running into is people as a whole, individuals are great players, but people as a whole in a heroic dungeon situation that's new, it's very terrible. Lots of wipes, everybody going into it with that line of thought of, I'm 575, I got this.
But even if you do have a tank that is creeping in slow and steady, there's always going to be, there's always going to be that hunter, or should I say that hunter pet, that's going to go in and pull the next route.
And it's not that tanks are having issues; they're just having to learn that what they need to do with the bosses. Also, the heals. The heals are trying to relearn how to be healers again, given the nerfs that have happened.
Is it too big a pull? Is the problem, or is it that the healers are running behind trying to catch them and can't do instant heals anymore?
It's both. One of my guild mates, she's a healer and she's a priest healer, and they don't have a lot of instant heals anymore. So the tank was getting mad, where's my heals? And she's like, it's on cooldown. I don't know what you want from me. You're going to have to give me 8 seconds. My atonement's on 8-second cooldown. So you should be glad that you're not running it. Let people work it out before you jump in there. That's
all right. The time well spent, man.
Exactly. Lycan, what did you do? I know what you did because we're in the same, practically in the same guild, but what did you do?
On my main, I did another run of Garrosh again this weekend. Went pretty well. Some personal problems with, working things out, but seemed to go pretty well. I mean, we actually went the furthest in one night than we have ever in the past. We just smoked through the boss. A little bit of problem on Falk, but other than that, once we got it fixed, it was a healing issue. We were smoking through the rest of them. Still leveling up that hunter, close to 90. I got him up to 88. Yeah, so I want to definitely try my hand at PvP again. I used to PvP on a hunter back in Wrath. Really haven't messed around with him much since then. But I think I'm going to get back into PvP again a little bit with the hunter, see how that plays out, especially coming up with the rewards.
Good.
And then, I got my Awake the Drakes achievement.
Congratulations, golf clap.
I was very excited. And Frysa and I were talking. I think they may have actually upped the drop chance on some of these without saying anything. Monday night I got the Blue Drake from Eye of Eternity. Came back in Tuesday for the raid reset. Got the Blazing Drake off of Dragon Soul 10-man. I soloed it quite easily. And then went in and did 25-man Mali again on Eye of Eternity and was awarded the Azor Drake. And those were the last 3 mounts that I needed for it. And I got my Emerald Drake and have been sitting on the terrace for the last week showing it off and having people ask me where I get it until ignoring them.
I believe
most of the time it's just from my AFK.
I believe my response to in our Honecast admin chat when you said you got all the drakes, I believe my response was "fuck your drakes." So I'm pretty sure that was my appropriate response. It was like 1 a.m, and I'm like, seriously? But congratulations, that's pretty awesome. The Emerald Drake is not that fancy to me. That's something I care about. I care about the drakes that you collect to get the Emerald Drake more than I do the winning prize.
The Emerald Drake, they've been asking those to put in since back in vanilla.
Should have been an Emerald Proto, my opinion.
I agree, but they've been begging them to put this in, and every expansion they kept hinting that yes, they were going to put it in, but it kind of dropped out. And then when Cataclysm came out, it would have been a perfect time to introduce it.
Agreed.
But no, they kind of put it off again. And finally, they said, here, go get all these drakes, and you got your Emerald Drake, and it's nice.
I like the Drake. I just wish it had armor on it, like that Dragon Blight one that has armor on the red one, on the purple dragon.
Yeah.
It would have looked a lot better if they would have spoofed it up a little bit, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Well, I'm glad you had a productive week. So for me, I'm all over the place this week, in truth. the Riders of Rohan, which is an Argent Dawn guild. I also have a Riders of Rohan on Antonidas, but the Argent Dawn guild specifically, since people are starting to return, one thing that I do really well is I recruit very well, and I recruit good guildies that actually, I mean, for every 10 I recruit, we probably lose one because they switch to a different guild. So the guild has been severely active this week in the sense of I'm ping-ponging around with trying to now remember all the new guildies. I like to be personal with the guildies and that kind of stuff, but we decided we're going to do heroic. Obviously, those of you that watch and listen know that we have not done any progression because my guild started way after MOP and nobody was interested in that. Now we decided today, my brother Dominic was the tank and he had a good friend, his name is David, who was the off tank. And we started at heroic Immersius and we made it all the way to spoils with one wipe. We wiped on Nazgrim once, and but that was it.
That's
no wipes.
Nice.
It was the cleanest. It was a mixture of half guild, half pug, and for it being a pug situation to offset some of the guildies we were lacking, it was amazing. Flawless, no issues. Healing was on point, tanking was on point, DPS was on point. Best heroic I have ever been involved in, especially given my Garrosh kill debacle. So tomorrow we're going to finish off spoils all the way to Garrosh and hopefully get some of our guildies the BOA. But it was really, from a GM standpoint, I was so proud. And that kind of, the problem with that is I have never been about like huge progression to where I push my people into progression. But sadly, that kind of gave me a little taste of what my guildies are capable of. And I fear that come WOD, you're going to see the Riders of Rohan possibly trying to go for realm first or whatever the major raid situation
out, supposedly. So
yeah, they supposedly took it out.
Yeah, but I just want to have it for myself so that I know we did it. But my guildies, I'm very proud of them. It's been nice to have a full guild and to have our old friends back and tons of new people. But it's been, man, it was a wild ride today with that. So that was my week, getting involved in a little bit of end of the expansion progression. We got about another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So news. We're really sad because we wanted Huge Bloke to be involved in this conversation because it's kind of an important deal. For those of you that aren't aware, they did announce that they are bringing up Australian servers. Australian and New Zealand, correct? New Zealand is sharing?
Yes.
So this means that if you have North American tunes, you can transfer to Oceanic for free to be able to play on the new Australian, New Zealand servers.
Don't say it so loud.
Right? That's going
and that's
we
without
just
having
started
to pay
get all
the
these
extra.
guys
Right. That is actually going into effect. It's going to affect their maintenance night, which is Tuesday nights for them, for the Oceanic people. It's, right? Tuesday nights?
Yeah. It's always Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday night. So that's going in effect for them. So if you guys are Australian players and you want to get on the bandwagon and you're playing on a North American server, take your tunes and get the hell out. Like, bye. I'm kidding.
Don't
No,
say
seriously.
it so loud.
With that in mind, though, remember, and I was just actually looking this up on the forums, is will I be able to play with my friends that are still on U.S. servers? And the answer is absolutely yes. This is because the new Australian servers are World of Warcraft game servers and will continue to communicate with the existing ones. So even if you're able to do the cross realms, raid still. So you don't have to worry about, well, if I transfer over, I'll never be able to play. No, that's not the case.
So they get the best of both worlds. They get to be around, they get to be on the server that represents their part of the country, and they get to still hang out with awesome Americans. So it's cool that everybody still gets to be involved together. The cross-realm thing is really important, and I see Oceanic stuff all the time in the Premades, which the Premades make my eye twitch.
So I'm not going to lose all my friends? What about guilds? They're not going to still be in the guild.
No, they won't be still in the guild, but I mean, that's kind of the price that's paid for transferring and moving stuff. But that's exciting. The Australian side of things, I've seen everybody's so excited for the Australian aspect that it's pretty huge. Frysa just doesn't care one way or the other because he's like, I play on North American, I don't give a shit, which is okay.
No, watch, you're going to lose a lot of your
He doesn't have any friends with us.
You don't have like a group. He doesn't have a friend.
We're his group.
Yeah, we're his only friends.
We're North American.
That's
so
about it.
He's blushing because it's true. Yeah.
Luke is going over, but maybe he might already be Oceanic. I'm not sure.
Right? Yeah, no, we already had him about to come and join our guild, and now all of a sudden
I know.
Yeah, they're killing me. They're killing me. Yeah, Blizzard, you're stealing from me.
So
I'm losing allies.
The next item up is they released the looking for raid set bonuses for Draenor. And I did pull the specs to make sure that I was giving the accurate information. Although they did talk about the LFR set bonuses, there's a lot of info here. I'm not even going to give it to you guys. There's a lot of info. But just know that now LFR gear is going to give you set bonuses, just like your tier sets would give you a bonus for having 2 out of the 5, 4 out of the 5, 5 out of the 5, and all of that stuff. If you need more information on that, it's going to be up on Wowhead. But that is LFR, which before LFR gear did not give you the tier set bonus.
They totally did.
It gave you, but it was the same tier bonus that was along lines with what that current regular tier bonus was.
That's what I thought.
Now, this one's going to be completely different, too. If you are a cloth wearer, your cloth base, basically what it's going to be is every single cloth DPS will have the same bonuses on it. And I believe it's like plus 100 to intellect, and the other one is like a plus 5 crit chance or a plus 5 multi-strike or something like that. So your cloth wearers will be the same, your plate wearers, your leather wearers, your mail wearers. They're going to have the same exact bonuses, but scaled for their main stat, whether it be strength, agility,
melee plate, the two.
So what would be the difference between that and a normal and a heroic? What would be the difference?
Those are going to be class specific. They're not going to be like plate specific.
It's not going to be tier specific because they have it separated into plate melee, plate tank, plate healer, male caster, male melee, male. Like they have it broken down into that.
I think it's very smart. I think it is because a lot of people get comfortable with the LFR gear. I know my Horde Frysa, he had every tier set in LFR.
I know you're comfortable with the LFR.
I was comfortable with it, but I did have a hard time upgrading my armor because sometimes you would have to get rid of your hands for a higher item level, but yet you'd get rid of your bonus if you did that.
Right. I had that problem today, actually.
In this case, you would be able to do it.
And that draws another very important question, too. Let's say you have a 4-set LFR bonus, and you go to replace one of your sets with, maybe a normal gloves, and it breaks that 4-set, or you're going to have a tier instead of that. Where is that going to actually make it very difficult for those who are transitioning from the LFR into the raid system? And how many pieces of gear are they going to have to hold on to?
It should make it difficult.
Right. It is really going to draw some pros and cons on whether or not you should be keeping the set bonuses. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Agreed.
One thing I did want to talk about, I didn't know if they're not having talked about them. This is all me. I wish they wouldn't have so much PvP pieces or armor pieces that would drop from like a Celestial. If they plan on doing that in Draenor, whoever bosses the world boss to drop, because the issue with that is sometimes that the Celestials drop almost the whole body is what it seems like on every piece, and you're like, you hate to buy that piece and then go do Celestial knowing that you could get that. So if you could put that piece off for like 5 weeks and hopefully those 5 times you finally get the drop would be nice, but because there's so many pieces that the Celestials could drop, it sucks because you kind of wish that you could.
I think of it as a die roll. Like I'm gonna go through it every week. Like let's see what I get. Let's see what I get.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree with you. But here's what I also think, and I agree that they should remove it from Celestials completely. And I'm going to tell you a PvP side of it. If people are getting PvP gear, and there are some people that are really, really lucky. My brother-in-law, he got 12 burdens in a 2-hour run on Timeless Isle once. This was many, 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 many months ago. This would have been when we all first hit Timeless as 90s. But literally, I literally was like, wow, you're the luckiest MFer alive. Like, you're so lucky. But some people get prideful each week. Here's my problem with that from a PvP standpoint. If somebody is walking into a PvP scenario where I'm reliant on their skill and they're prideful because they got it off a Celestial, me and you are going to have some serious problems because you're not PvP ready. You're gear ready, but really PvP is half gear, half skill. So I do agree it should be taken out, and that's another reason I think it should be taken out. I think you should only get PvP gear by doing PvP, period.
I agree with that. That's another way of looking at it because I actually do. Go ahead.
I was going to say, in a way, I agree with that. And I'm not the type of person to say, well, they've always done it that way, but they kind of have. I mean, look back in Wrath. You did Vault of Archibald, you had a chance of a PvP set or set piece dropping. But and go to kind of put a dig at it. If you're relying on people in random battlegrounds or you're actually waiting to rely on people in random battlegrounds.
Touche.
Yeah, that's
took the words out of my mouth.
Why can't Blizzard be creative? Why can't Blizzard be creative and make a PvP weekly that you can do for a chance of gear? Something that you have to do weekly and be able to loot and get a chance of gear. Right?
I mean, why don't you consider doing Celestial PvE like group combat? I mean, you have to get a group together.
Something that there's player versus player, and whatever the end game is, you get to the opportunity to possibly loot a piece. That I think would be awesome, right?
You could do like a weekly objective on Ashran. That would be ideal.
Agreed.
Technically,
make sure the Blizzard developers listen to this, and we can,
Celestion, if you're listening, please stop messing with everybody's tunes, and can we get on top of this PvP Celestial situation?
It's true. Well, technically, it doesn't make what was I going to say? It doesn't make too big of a deal only at the beginning of each expansion or of each season, because that is when everyone's dying for that one piece of PvP armor. But later on in the seasons, it's not really going to make a big deal whether they drop it or not. But not in the beginning. I remember when I was talking this guy named Valgash. He was one of my PvP partners for a long time. Remember Val? Remember Val? He was a very good. He's one of the best monks ever, and he had 5 pieces of I think it was malevolent armor or something like that. And I only had 2. And it was 5 weeks into the season. I had 3. I think I had 3 pieces, and he already had 5 because he kept getting drops. And I think that's not cool because technically none of us have any armor. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he has 2 more pieces than me because he got lucky.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, armor in truth is all luck.
Very true.
Matt.
Well, PvP.
Not for Frysa because he's a PvP guy.
Even in a raid situation.
He has to get points and get points.
Yesterday, I ran an entire set of 2 wings of normal and did not get 1 piece of gear.
Right, for
my brother's friend,
it's all about luck. For
my brother's friend looted every single boss.
A little more weight in it.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do a raid and not get any pieces of armor.
I do both. You know what I?
And this guy over here with his Awake the Frickin' Drakes. I do my weekly raid or my weekly mount farming every week, and every week I walk away disappointed with a little bit more gold and a bunch of frostweave and netherweave.
A little bit more gold every week, right?
That's what I get. So maybe we could put that to Blizzard and see if they can they'll take an idea for their changing.
Or just have 1 or 2 pieces that it drops. So you can put those 2 pieces off for a while.
Right. So consistently that they will drop this piece.
Right.
Well,
no matter when you get it, just means at some point.
Not every single piece of the body. It's like, really?
For the group finder, I'm not going to go too much into the group finder because it's going to enrage me, and then you're going to hear a rant. And I really I would like to go 1 episode without ranting.
I want to hear the rant.
Man, the group finder is a hot mess. You have 20. Okay, it's happening. Here it comes. You have 20 people. 20 people with a group looking for frogs. Why don't you all join the same fucking group? Why is there 20 premades for a group of frogs when you can all be in the same group? I don't understand your logic. Because of this reason, 30 group of Ordos when you have 30 people that made their own group for Ordos. I don't understand. If you calm, I'm good. Okay.
The group leader, they don't have the power.
But geez, so here's what's happened. Because of this, the players complained about only being able to see 25. They've increased that cap to 100. The premades, I missed the other. I was so excited. Remember, I was the most excited about this premade thing, and now I want to kill it with fire. It's a hot mess.
I asked for it. Wow.
I got something to say. I had to deal with it earlier this week. I was raiding with your brother, and I was the leader of the group because he was locked out. So I was the leader of the group. 496 level mage was the leader of heroic raid, whatever. So people are whispering me, "Hey, let me in, invite me. I'm not geared, but I know the raid." And here I am, a 496, taking someone else saying, no, you can't have me. He's only 430. He's only 530. He's only 525. You can't take him. He's too weak. And I'm like, here I am at 496.
Don't do it. Don't stick your neck out.
What's crazy though is it's like having a job. You always go to jobs like, we need experience. We need experience. It's like, how am I ever going to get experience if no one ever hires me? It's the same thing, but you're the boss if you're the leader, because people are asking you to invite them, and someone gave you a shot, so you got armor. Now someone is asking you for a shot, and you reject them because they're not geared enough. And it's like, how are they supposed to get gear if you don't invite them to the party to kill the boss? And then that is a dick move, in my opinion. I think if they're really low, understandable. They can run Alifar, they can go to get some PvP armor, understood. But if they're only missing 20 levels or 10 levels and someone gave you a shot, someone carried you through a raid, you have no right to tell that person he is not good enough for your raid. That's what I'm saying.
I have a response. Up until a few weeks ago, I would have completely agreed 150% with what you just stated. Everybody knows. No, everybody knows that Belle is not an elitist by any stretch of the imagination. I believe in equal opportunity employment for my guild as well as the people that attend the guild raids. I believe the same thing we all do on a level that gear score isn't really as serious as skill is and all of that good stuff. However, here's what I know. A well-balanced raid, yes, there are some people that you can carry, but if you're already carrying people, and I'm gonna call you out, Frysa, the reason my brother said it the way that he did with item levels, because you were being carried.
I know.
So with that being said, you should have been grateful because he was smart and strategic.
It wasn't my choice to be carried. You guys drug me into that.
But from
and I got no gear out of the whole thing. It backfired on me.
If like the guild today, we had half carries, half high item level. The high item level people did not have a problem carrying at all. Everybody was very happy to carry, and guess what? Everything was a bigger success than any of the other crap I've done on any raid ever. It was the best success ever. So yes, you are right. It is a dick move to discriminate for 4 or 5 item level differences. 10, 20, okay, maybe we might need to just see, maybe give it a test. Let me add you and make sure that you are capable of at least being able to hold your own and you're not dying. If you ask me for a chance, we pop you in and you're the first one down every single fight.
That's how it was with Vanilla and
so
PC.
It's a balance, yes.
I think Lycan's going to say the same thing I was going to say. Go ahead, Lycan.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not, but I'm an elitist player without the elitist attitude. You know, I am. Good. You know, I've been in a guild that is hardcore progression. You know, we want to get through as much content as fast as we can to get to heroics or now mythic. You know, so I come from that. But you're right. You have to start off somewhere. When we first started raiding, we started pulling in this past week people that have not played in years on some of them. And they're coming in on 483 timeless out gear that just got the character boost. And absolutely, I am a firm believer that if you're in a guild, that those guildies should be helping you out. Okay. And, you know, I don't think you should be asking completely other strangers to help you. But these guys, I had one guy come in completely logged in at 483, you know, just from getting the character boost. Bring him in, and we brought him into the raid, and he got gear.
I think we're not wrong for asking other people. I think you can ask for other people. I think I can ask Joe Schmo with his Premade if I need help getting something. I don't think it's that far stretch in the gaming world for another player to have a little bit of human decency. And if you tell me my item level's not good enough for a raid, okay, fair enough. Let me go to LFR and let me handle my business. Right. I think it's the way that the situations are handled is the problem. I think it's what you're saying, like, don't be...
I mean, but you're right, too, because I've gotten to that point. I think this is where I got that, like I said, that elitist player from the elitist without the attitude. But I've done that and have, you know, told somebody, hey, look, you know, I'm sorry, but your 415 item level is not going to cut it for Garrosh. And then you're an ass. I can't believe why you got to be such a dick. And then
they cuss that.
They put me on ignore, and I'm going.
I've been being that dick for 10 years now.
Okay, here's the thing. Okay, now to go off a little bit on what I was saying, but on another way of saying it is if carrying is different. I don't think you should exactly what Belle said. You shouldn't go to random people and be like, please carry me. you cannot do that. I think you have to do the effort to get LFR gear. You have to do the effort and get flex gear.
I do agree with that. I do.
You have to go out and try to get some good gear before you start entering your name on that list saying I can do a raid. Don't just go in there with boosted gear and say, please carry me. That's bogus.
In a guild situation, you're right. That's different. In a guild situation, it's expected that I get a carry because the purpose of the guild is to help each other gear.
That's completely different.
So yeah, I agree with you there. Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah. So don't just put your name on the list, people. Yeah. Well, in PvP, they pay for people.
Right.
They pay for it to be carried. Because they just boosted the tune. They say, looking for someone to carry 300 a win.
I ain't never paid for no carry.
I'm just saying, PvP pay for a win.
They pay gold.
300 every win.
Who cares? It's gold. Who cares?
Well, that's the thing is, they actually know to get carried cost moolah.
Correct.
In PvE, for some reason, you got the tanks over here. You guys could be charging.
They already do.
10,000
a Garrosh kill right now for a BOA.
Okay.
10,000.
Really?
Actually,
Why am I? Because it's gold.
Because it's 10,000.
I used to rent my tank out too. I would $100. For insta queues, people complain, insta queues. I paid for my services, whether I needed it or not.
So also. We have the group finder thing. Don't ever get me started on that again because that's all bad. Anyway you slice it.
I'm gonna mention it every week.
Spam does it on purpose because Spam loves my rants. I know he knows.
I think it gets our ratings up.
He knows what to say to get me going. Okay.
That's why I'm here.
For those of you that don't know, so I got an email telling me that the Iron Horde is coming. Here's 7 days free game time. As normal, I thought it was a scam. What we do here at Pwnecast, if you're a member of the page, if you watch our news, we're very, very, very particular about the things that we post, and we always make sure we double and triple check because this is what we're putting out to the public. I physically tried it myself before I posted it on our page. Turns out it is correct. They are giving away 7 days free game time. What you need to do is you need to go to your battle.net. You need to go into... we have a link on the Pwnecast page for you to be able to go to click into it. But I think you go to redeem. There's an option for you to go to redeems. I didn't do it. I went straight to the link, so I'm not sure which tab you click. But if you need your free game time, go to facebook.com/Pwnecast, and we have the link. You just click right into it. You sign into your Battle.net. You'll get your 7 days free game time, which if you're coming up with the end of a subscription, that gives you 7 days free. I think Spam's looking for it right now. I haven't seen it from the other aspect. I've seen it from the direct link. So I'm not 100% sure what it looks like on the other side. So if he finds it before then, we'll let you guys know how to deal with that.
It's legit for sure.
Okay, Spam, where did you go inside your account?
You want me to do it now? Yeah, I'll do it now. While we're live.
But where did you click once you were inside your account to get to that?
I don't know. I'm still on Facebook trying to get
okay, we'll let him get into it. So you do get 7 days free game time. Let's do it. Let's get some free stuff.
It's just a photo. All you posted was a photo.
No, you have to click the link.
And we did have a concerned page member. A member of our community was very concerned because you had posted it up, and then I took the direct links that I found from another website we were on, and I put them on there, and it did not look legit. There was actually a little blue box that you had to click on from the link, and it didn't. And he was concerned. He says, "Hey, this doesn't look right." But like Belle said, we not only have we checked, we've double checked and triple checked and checked from other accounts, and it is legit. You do get your free 7 days. It'll show up in your account history.
I don't even see where to click on it.
But we're not
a picture. It's not a picture. It's just writing.
Yeah, we're just going to move on. If you guys just go to our page, I'll repost it on the page so that it's fresh, so that you guys have it, and you guys can get your free game time. Spam after the show. We'll walk you through how to get it set up. Also, real quick, character transfers. They are on sale. The character transfers are $18.75, down from $25. The faction transfers are down to $22 from $30. This is going on till October 29th. So if you want to switch all you Hordes over to Alliance and come on over to Argent Dawn on the U.S. server, now's the time to grab your grab your doggy treats and head on over because we're recruiting. So, but if you want to switch over and play with your friends, now's the time because they're on sale. It's going on through October 29th. So make sure you guys get in on that. Last thing as far as the Blizz news, Metallica.
I love Metallica. I absolutely love them. I think they're one of the greatest bands to ever walk on this earth. Because they're not from the earth, obviously. They're from another planet.
They transcend
So, yeah. Now, here's the issue with this. Now, but I'm not speaking for all gamers everywhere. I'm just speaking in my opinion, pure opinion. I don't believe a lot of gamers listen to Metallica. And I just don't see that. I think people of my generation know Metallica. I think of a lot of them. But
I think you misjudged the American gamer.
It's just a little out there when it comes to the gaming World of Warcraft world. I can see Call of Duty had Avenged Sevenfold in their game. Okay, I understand that, but World of Warcraft has never ever put rock into its theme. So to me, it's a little out there. I love Metallica, so I would love to see it if I was there. That'd be great, free concert.
I don't know how they swung that.
Do you want me to tell you why? I'm going to tell you why. Because when people raid, that's what they listen to. I'm not saying all people. I'm not saying all people, but I can tell you that since this was announced, it has been huge and everybody is stoked. Gamers listen to all different types of music. Some listen to techno, some listen to rock, some listen to 80s. I've been known to listen to Flock of Seagulls. It doesn't matter. It's just whatever catches my fancy. But Metallica, you know what Metallica is? Are you ready? Ponage. That is what Metallica is, and that is the reason Metallica is playing BlizzCon. Ponage.
And I'm happy they said yes.
They don't have a lot of prospects these days. They're all getting older.
Do you know why Metallica is the perfect music for raiding, for example?
Why?
Because it takes like 9.5 minutes to kill your raid boss, and a typical Metallica song is at least that.
That's at a minimum. That's just the intro
it just
to start.
happens to work out that way,
Agreed.
you know.
Agreed.
There's three 9-minute bosses and a 13-minute boss.
Agreed.
And look at some of your lead game designers. They're my age, and they're not the younger kids that are out there. They're my age that grew up listening. I remember writing the Metallica Ride the Lightning symbol or name across my blue jeans in high school and getting my ass beat when I came home from doing it. You know, I grew up on that.
Your blue jeans.
Exactly.
I wasn't before.
Let's talk more about these blue jeans because now I'm interested.
Wow. And what
do you mean no rock in World of Warcraft?
Hold up. Was the blue jeans torn? It just has to know.
Of course.
They had to have been. And you couldn't buy them that way. You had to do them yourself.
I agree. That's so funny.
But no rock in Warcraft? Come on. What about the level 90 Elite Tauren Chieftains?
What?
They're in. Have you been to the Dark Moon Fair recently?
No, I don't go there.
Every hour you can hear them play.
Well,
He doesn't do anything fun on World of Warcraft. The only thing Frysa ever does is PvP.
Kill people.
yep.
He doesn't do anything fun.
I haven't managed to get good at that either, so.
So he doesn't. There's no fun in his life.
I'm anti-fun.
There's no fun.
You can PvP on the island, so you might want to consider going there next month.
I used to raid Dark Moon Fair. We took it over a few times.
Creepy carpet mount. Creeping carpet mount is a tailoring mount that you get at 700 for 700 skill. It's a ground mount. Obviously, I think we talked about this in chat, or we might have even talked about it on Skype, is they're trying to make the allure of ground mounts better. Animations, way that you use them and stuff like that, because they haven't talked about ever being able to fly on Draenor. They talked about the mistakes they made with Mist of Pandaria. The second you hit 90, Lycan, you brought that point up yesterday. Yep. The second you hit 90, boom, you were off flying, missing the rest of all the fun stuff, which they're trying to avoid.
Beautiful balloon.
Yeah, so it's okay. I don't have tailoring. I don't have any desire to tailor for the carpet mount, really, but it's pretty cool. There'll be a picture right here of the flying carpet mount.
I know Eli would be excited about this, but then he's a tailor, right? Yeah.
He loves that carpet stuff.
He loves all mounts in general, though. Eli's a total mount worker.
They gave a mount to the leatherworking. Was it leatherworking?
It's the dire. isn't it? Is that what it's called?
Right. So they now they're giving one to the tailoring guys. I mean,
we've already had
all the tailors are going to be excited.
This one you just can't fly. It just kind of floats and hovers above the ground.
I also I want to say if they're redoing all the character models because of their new graphic capabilities and stuff like that, why not redo the mounts and start having a whole new generation of cool looking mounts, man?
Agreed. They also have. Go ahead.
I was going to say, they did update it. All mounts are now ground usable, because I was riding my Ashes of War at Galacris last week in Siege of Ordovar. So
that
every
makes
one
sense.
of them
They should.
Right.
You should be able to see a mount's animation that you really enjoy.
That's great that you say that, because I just noticed that too. In Battlegrounds, I can use my dragons.
Because I love my Proto Drake. My Proto Drakes are my prized possessions, the Proto Drakes that I have. So, literally, they're my prized possessions, and I love being able to. I like them because they're wingspan. In truth, they also
use my Seahorse to land.
Right. Speaking of mounts, we have the Vicious War Raptor and the Vicious War Ram. Both those pictures will be right here for your enjoyment. These are the 3v3 for winning 43 v3s, and then your rated Battlegrounds mounts. So.
No. We're going to get the Rated Battlegrounds this time around. When we started doing Rated Battlegrounds, I think me and Cody only got to like 30. Was that Cody I was with?
Rated Battlegrounds? Or
I think I won like 30
Must have been because
Battlegrounds.
you never take me anywhere, so.
I know, but what it is RBGs are a lot easier if you're in a PvP realm, because there's constant advertising for it. But now that the pre-made groups, which is why I like them, are going to be able to queue for that, and you're going to get to see who's in there, who's their item level before you invite them, and all this stuff.
I didn't get to do any of that with you because I have other obligations that pull me away, such as Pwnecast stuff that's always priority over my gameplay. So
now we're going to be able to do it every season. So I am going to expect, because of how much we do PvP, we are going to get in every season 75 wins, 100 wins, and RBGs, and 100 wins is nothing in threes. If you actually do arena, 100 is nothing. 100 is nothing.
We're still doing Battlegrounds to keep ourselves of the changes with our tunes. Every weekend we all do Battlegrounds. It's not as intense as arenas, obviously, but we've been doing those to just keep up on the changes and what our tunes capabilities are, given the stat squish and the ability pruning. We want to make sure that we're fine-tuning rotation, making adjustments, as it were. The husband decided he's done with the mage. He wants to do shaman in PvP. He's really, really excited about the capabilities of enhancement. So you guys know me. I'm locked till death do us part. I will never switch my main. I will be a lock until the day the locks no longer are casters. That's just...
You brought the button back.
I did. I went through an identity crisis on the lock. Anybody that knows me knows my lock has looked the exact same since 2009. Hair, I've had the same transmog for a year, 12 months of the same transmog. I don't change her look because that's how other players identify you. When you're running in Storm, when you say, oh, shit, that's my friend, because they're... So I went all crazy. Total, Chola style, long red hair with bangs and whole different mog. I did change my mog again. I actually got the tier 6 set from Sunwell.
Nice.
Sunwell Tempest Keep.
So you went shiny this time.
I think it's Sunwell Tempest Keep. And the Mount Hyjal battle. The battle for Mount Hyjal. I got it all in one fell swoop. It's got the wings.
Lucky you.
It has really, really badass wings that proc whenever you jump. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So the PvP mounts, those are awesome. Wow, we burned through the news really, really, really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we didn't talk about what the mounts look like.
I'm going to show a picture.
Oh, okay. Well, the Raptor looks perfect for this expansion for the Zandalare.
It's got tusks on it. It's great.
I'm definitely impressed with it. I liked it. I can't wait to see it. I really can't. It looks really cool.
I'm glad you said it. It looks very Zandalare.
I can't wait for the Time Moss Proto Drake. They're adding 7 new ones, which is not news. Everybody already knows they're putting 7 Proto Drakes. 2 of them, I think it's 2 or 4 are going to be in Nargrand, right?
I love it.
Or Nagrand, whatever.
Gives us something to do Nagrand.
I love the Proto Drake.
There's 2 dots over the A. It's Nagrand.
I'm not that fancy. I ain't that kind of girl. You got the wrong kind of girl. So Moneybags the Goblin, he eludes me sometimes. He pops in and out. I don't know if he does it to troll me.
You took the words out of his mouth this week. Honestly, you're right.
Come on, surely Moneybags has something to say to our listeners and viewers.
I'd like to see no.
Do it.
Wait for that voice.
My biggest gripe this week, with what really grinds my gears, is the lack of communication I see. I gotta tell you guys, the what did we say, three episodes ago or 4 episodes ago? It was no more asshats in LFR, and maybe all those guys that haven't been playing for the last 6-8 months because they've been bored and they all of a sudden came back because the pre-patch dropped. First of all, I got news for you. The pre-patch is 45 minutes of new content, maybe an hour to 8, maybe an hour tops. So you came back a month too early, guys.
Yeah, I told them the same thing.
And second of all, the ass hattery has, I don't know if that's the proper term. The ass hattery has not subsided. What's the term?
I have a new term. Whenever stuff's going on, it's fuckery. Fuckery. I know Eli's going to be so mad when he listens to the show and hears me say that. But Eli, if you're listening,
the non-vulgarity way of saying this was written in the training book for my fraternity education. It's debauchery. You can't have the debauchery going on.
No.
There's definitely some sort of debauchery going on.
What's funny is I joined LFR on my alliance mage, who was very low geared. Obviously, he's boosted, and I was in there casting at the first bosses in Siege of Orgrimmar, and we're not what.
Of just being a mage.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Anyway, so I'm sitting there and I'm casting, the boss ain't going down, and I'm like, this is taking forever. Like, we're gonna have to go through all the sequences, like all the stuff, and I'm so expected to get carried. I really am in LFR. I look around me and I start clicking. Probably half the raid is lower gear than my mage. It's like, oh my god.
You were carrying?
I was carrying them, hoping to be carried. I was like, I just left. I said, screw it, we're done. We were on our 4th wipe, and I was like, yeah, we don't have the damage to kill this boss. It's not gonna happen.
I think we've all come to the conclusion from our various ranting tonight that the big problem seems to be people are coming out of the darkness.
Yes.
Out of I haven't even seen Siege of Orgrimmar yet, and they're trying to do these new dungeons. Yeah, the creeping death.
On this subject, I have Velitrius. He is an older style player, and I say older because I don't want to offend anybody. He's retired, plays golf, all that good stuff. He is item level 565 and has never ran Siege of Orgrimmar. We ran him through Heroic today swimmingly, but how are you 565 and you've never ran Orgrimmar? I'll tell you why. Ordos and Celestials. That is how you are 565.
Yep. Really?
But
really?
It was really exciting that we got to run him through. He'd never stepped in, and what I was doing is I was messaging him privately, giving him the mechanics, because his heroic.
He's a warrior, right?
He is a warrior, and you should already know the mechanics going into a heroic. There should never be any discussion outside of the tanks talking about how they're going to do their version of the fight, because every tank's different. But what I was doing was messaging him privately and telling him, okay, here's what you want to do on this boss, here's what you want to do on this boss, so that I didn't out him that he had never done it before. But it was nice, and it was refreshing. He did get some gear, he did. And more importantly, he got achievements for doing it.
Did it work? Did your deception work?
Yeah, nobody knew. He didn't know. I told Dominic, who was the raid leader, because he's the tank and he should know what he's getting himself into. They tried to allow him to do the towers, and I said, you really shouldn't have anybody do towers. I refused towers because I did it once and it was a fail, and everybody yelled at me, and I will never touch towers again.
You know what I gotta say? You know what I gotta say about that Galagrass fight? if you're a horde and you've never done towers, go for it because you know how to walk in circles.
I don't. See, I'm so straight and narrow because of alliance.
You're used to walking in straight lines.
The worst one, in my opinion, the one in my opinion, the worst is the nest. Where you have to have a nest team of 5 people.
Oh.
And to try to get those 5 people to work together is probably the hardest thing you could imagine.
I have anxiety when it comes to engineer, something that's a special job, because a belt. So, Siegecrafter. Yeah. Everybody says, hey, Locke, get the belt. Cool, got this. Figured out how to get on the belt. Was on the belt. Everything was good. DPS'd everything down. Came time to get off the belt. Belle didn't know how to get off the belt. Belle didn't want to ask because I'm like a man and don't want to ask for directions. Belle died on the belt. Everybody was mean to Belle in LFR. So these things, and it's really my own issue, if you give me a job responsibility, once I've done it, and if I'm with a group I trust, like had my brother have walked me through and said, here's what you do on the belt, or if it's a group I trust where I'm not going to be heckled for it, I'm all for it, but I'm like, I pew-pew. Put me in a spot, tell me to stand there, tell me to move to the left. What did you say last week, Spam? Move to the left. I just pew-pew, pew-pew, move over, jump out, jump in.
It was funny because I was in LFR this week, and I was doing my ally mage, and I was in that boss fight, and they said, who's going to get the belt? Well, I do the belt on my horde mage, who is fully geared.
Well, because you're ranged.
Like, I'll do the belt. I know how to do it. So I run over there, I jump in the thing, and I go on the belt. Man, I'm going crazy on this stuff. Can't kill any of it because I'm not geared. So then, and I'm typing, and I go team swap. I can't kill anything. So then one of the other guys jumps on there, and he takes over, and I get off. But what was great about Mage is I got blazing speed and blink, so I can go to like the last second and then blink out of it. Yeah, so that's why wages are. I mean, to me, it was easy on my other mage. But
for those that are listening and watching, I know sometimes when we're making fun of ourselves as a means of entertainment for our viewers and listeners, I think some of you, and I discussed this last week, you take that as us not knowing what we're doing. Or here's the thing. I can tell you that because I run with my brother, who's a really good tank, and he's really good at explaining things, and because I run with really awesome people when I do decide to run things, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. I know what you're supposed to do at the engineers. I know what you're supposed to do at the towers. I know what you're supposed to do on the belt. Just because I choose to not do it because I'm not good at it, I know my strengths and my weaknesses. I know the mechanics of every single fight I step into. If I don't, I make sure that it's explained to me. Or I watch a video, whatever. But please don't take what we say at face value when we're heckling ourselves. It's really more of means of entertainment because it's funny. Belle died on the belt because she didn't know there was a tube right there at the end that you had to jump in. I didn't know that, so I died. But
awesome.
if you think I don't know how to tank and you're a tank, come find me in game. I will put you down so bad you'll re-roll your class.
Show me the money. Show me the money. I like that. I know we have a really, really awesome lore section today. Yes. I'm really excited about it, so I'm going to make sure I promise not to interrupt you until the very end. I promise.
Not a problem.
I'm muting. Take it away.
This week, I was actually looking for something to do with, the ongoing things that are happening in the game right now, and I decided to pick Sir Thomas Thompson. He was actually a knight with the Order of the Silver Hand. And not a lot of people know the name, and I'm going to go through a little bit of what he did and what got him to where he needs to go now to, explain who he really is. Now, here's a paladin that was basically became cursed and was driven insane. He joined the Scarlet Monastery and believed that everyone in the world that was alive was actually dead in one of the Scourge. We're talking back down around the time to the Warcraft 3 expansion, and the events that happened there. Sir Thomas was present at Lordaeron when Arthas decided to do the call. I'm not Lordaeron, but it was he decided to call Stratholme and go in and kill them all before they all turned into the Scourge. Sir Thomas was also there when Baron Rivendor betrayed the Alliance and sent the plague crates up to Stratholme, from where he was stationed. I can't remember the name. I think it was Anderhall. Yeah, Anderhall. So there's this guy that sees everything like this going on, and then like a lot of the Scarlets, he was under Sidon Dafferhand's wing, doing his business, going along with the Scarlet Monastery and the Scarlet Crusade, and he was just started killing everybody, and thinking he was doing them a favor. He says, I'm putting down the Scourge and killing them all. And actually, in one of these own raids, and this is what finally put the nail in the coffin, per se, you'll see why I say it that way, he accidentally killed his own family. Now, he had sent his family away to be safe and to be away from the Scourge attacks and the Scourge outbreaks that were happening. Didn't realize it was them, killed his own family, his wife and his children. So basically, he went crazy, and nobody could tell him differently. So after killing all his former comrades, he was actually brought to Stratholme and was beheaded. And the person that did the beheading was Dathrahan. Now, if we've all done Stratholme Dungeon, we learned that Dathrahan was actually Balnazar, and he was part of the, part of the army. So we know that, that he was just even driven a little crazier just being underneath him. Well, Balnazar was not happy with just killing him. So not only did he kill him, but he actually warped Sir Thomas, his corpse, into becoming a Death Knight. Now, without a head, we all know this guy now is the Headless Horseman. And this is why, when we're looking at everything that's going on, and you can listen to the chants that the Headless Horseman does in the outlying cities, like in Goldshire and things like that, I think Razor Hill is the other one, a couple of the other ones, we can hear him, doing these chants going through, setting the places on fire, still thinking that the Scourge is out there, not even realizing that he, quite frankly, is one of them. And the pumpkin that we get in the center of these towns has his sigil from when he was part of the Scarlet Crusade. And we have to take that back, and we return that to the orphan matron that's standing there. So it's neat to look into, we got this holiday event going on, and we all going after the Headless Horseman mount, which, quite frankly, I already have. But we all keep going after this.
Fuck your Headless Horseman.
Hey, guess what? I've got one too.
But we all go after this guy, and we never, a lot of us have actually taken a time to step back and look at him and see who actually the Headless Horseman is. And he is Sir Thomas Thompson. And I believe you were able to go into Western Plaguelands, and at one point his family was still there in ghost form at one of the farms. And that is no longer available. And I believe
I think it was during Lich King, yeah.
Yeah, you used to be able to go back and visit his family, but they've moved him out since the events of the Cataclysm.
It was creepy. It was creepy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I think that is so awesome. If you guys don't listen or watch the show at all, you really should just listen and watch for this specific purpose. I can probably tell you everybody I have ran with Headless Horseman, maybe 1 out of 10. Might know, really, because I didn't know. I just assumed it was Ichabod Crane and that whole 9. Who knew? I knew there was a story, but I didn't. Unless I'm told the story, I don't really look for it.
There's a Warcraft version of like every myth that's ever been out there, almost at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was
from everything. Yeah.
Man, we're really lucky to have you. Thank you for that. Seriously, we really are lucky to have you.
I'm really impressed with the way he brought the history section into the current holiday that's going on in game. I'm impressed.
Agreed.
I'm impressed.
There's so much information. This is what I really see. I'm a lore freak. I absolutely love reading. Right now, I just got finished up reading Dawn of the Aspects. Absolutely great book. If you want to know how the 5 aspects came to be, I now just started this story about Arthas. And it really takes them all the way back to when him and Jaina and Varian were children, and it goes into that. And there's so much information on every character in here. There's just a wealth of knowledge out there. Hughes Bloke was actually teasing me. He wanted me to do one on Topper McNabb for tonight's Lore's thing. I said, there's not that much out there.
Next time he's on, you should do it.
I am. I thought about doing one for next week just to tease him, but. There's such a wealth of knowledge out there. Please go read the books. Christy Golden writes some great books. Robert Nax writes some great books. Just search WoW Wiki and read the articles on there, and you'll be amazed. You can spend an hour reading all the different stories.
Christy Golden is a genius. And I was talking to somebody. It might have been somebody from Girls Who Play WoW. That I think I told you my friends Gretchen and Dustin, 2 of the admins from Girls Who Play WoW, know her. I think that's awesome because she works together with Blizz for their writers, and it's a communal thing. Blizz takes her stuff and she writes it based off the culture of World of Warcraft and the culture of, she takes Blizzard's idea of a character and she makes it come to life. She gives you all the background stuff that the game doesn't give you. She gives you the purpose and the reason on why so-and-so is this way and so does this thing, and she gives you that full... I don't read the books, and let me tell you why I don't read the books. Ain't nobody got time for that. I have 2 people, my second in command, Tysaurus. He gives me the lore I need if I have a question. I watch the cutscenes. I get my lore from Lycan if I need it. I don't have time to read books. This is why we like giving you that lore piece here on the show. We like giving it to you on the podcast. But you should, if you have the ability to multitask and read, you should. You should pick up the books. You should check them out.
Some of us lore geeks have been playing these games for long enough to know this stuff from playing in the game. If you've been a lore,
quests.
what do they call it? The quests, right?
Yeah,
if you've been a lore master, read your quests. And
I am a lore master.
Yeah.
I have to say.
Whatever. I didn't do enough of anything quest-wise because
because you're a turret, because you go pew 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 pew.
Because I like to focus on other parts of the game that are fun for me. Everything's different for certain people. What's fun for you isn't necessarily fun for me. I don't like doing nothing but questing. I like trolling in trade chat. So I'm kidding, I don't.
You're that person. Oh man, we are so done right now.
I'm really not that person, but. Before we close out the show, because we're getting towards the end of the show. Before we close out the show, I just want to... Am I the only one that experiences the amount, and this is a disclaimer, if you are under the age of 18, please take your headphones out, mute it, don't listen to this next part. Why is there so much anal talk in trade chat? Can somebody please explain to me I mean, I know I'm not the only one that notices. I know you guys have seen literally every other sentence has something to do with anal-related something.
I haven't noticed that.
Help me, please.
She's talking about Argent Dawn's trade chat.
It's not even Argent Dawn. Also, it's Hellscream. It's Antarnados. It's everywhere. Everywhere.
I'm on Tichondrius most of the day. I don't see none of that.
That's because it's a PvP. I'm talking about
years ago. It used to be Murloc chat. Like people would start playing the Murloc game, where like you say, I was watching TV the other night, and I was watching. Instead of the Brady Bunch, you'll say I was watching the Murloc Bunch, and then someone was, oh yeah, that's right, it was on right before I Dream of Murloc, and now it's just gone like into the toilet, and now it's become anal show and the anal.
I'm on Argent Dawn really late, and what I do sometimes when I'm bored is I go over to Goldshire, and if you go upstairs in the rooms on an RP server, no, not at all, I don't RP, but if you go up the stairs to the rooms in the inn in Goldshire, there's people in there doing things. So
naked things.
So one day I decide I'm going to check this shit out. I want to see what really goes on, and I apologize if I invaded the privacy of whoever was in there, but it was too funny to pass up. So I decide that I have to fit in, so I take off my clothes. I'm just in my ruse. I'm in my toon ruse because I want to blend in, right? So I go in there, and it's pretty
invisible.
It's pretty quiet downstairs, and I'm like, I know there's people upstairs. There's always people upstairs, especially later on at night when nobody else is on. So I go up into the first room. There's a couple people in there just standing around, and then I go up into the farther back room on the right, and so there is 2 people in there. Actually, there was 3 because one person was laying naked on the bed. But there was 2 people. One was sitting on the floor on their knees, and the other was standing in front of them. They had just ruse, and the person on the bed that was laying there, I don't know if they were just watching. I don't really know what was happening. But I have to tell you, it was so fucking hysterical. I could not. I was just like, it really is. That really is. Now, this is not a dig at the RP community by any stretch of the imagination. So anybody listening, this is not a dig. This is not making fun of anything people do in game. If that's what gets your goat and it turns you on, that's your scandal, because I don't have a problem with that. But to me, as a non-RP or as a
they're not doing RP stuff.
That was RP.
They're just doing what they want to do.
That was real life RP. But no, it was not RP. It might have been, maybe there was maybe if it was a husband and wife in an RP scenario, maybe that was their
No, that's two guys doing that.
No, that's not two guys.
There are no
girls that right
on
now.
the internet says 13-year-old boys and FBI agents, so let's just get that out
They're
there.
doing it right now.
This is not a dig at our peers, but I did think it was cool. Now, I did ask, I know you're about to tell me, and I did ask Tysaurus one time, because he had mentioned that he has an RP wife, and I didn't really fully understand, and he explained to me, immersing your character, you want your character to have a backstory. So it's basically essentially you living your character's life through RP. You make up and create your story based off some parts of lore, based off your own personal toon story. I could be the warlock who used to be a Gul'dan slave, and then I decided whatever. But they're very 100% RP in the aspect of when you're husband and wife and there's...
The bumpies.
If they're gonna do that, then they should have brought what they had in Fable, where it gets real dark, and then you wake back up in the morning and you're like, get out of bed. You're like, yeah.
No, I think it should be like The Sims. I think you should be able to emote like The Sims do, where they blur and you hear the bow chicka bow wow music. So whoever that couple was, I do apologize, but I can tell you I wasn't the only person in the room. That third person laying on the bed, I don't know if that was part of your situation, but he was creeping also. So
you know what? I don't want to bug you out. I don't want to bug you out, but were you thinking about what they were thinking about you being there at the time?
I was really afraid that they were going to ask me if I was interested.
You already had your clothes off, which meant you were a willing participant.
That's like a bunny house.
Oh, and the RP
so funny.
It is a bunny house. No
kidding. What was it, the creeper used to look in the windows? What they call them?
The voyeur.
Peeping Tom. It's not going to be a peeping Tom anymore. It's going to be a peeping Belle from now on.
If you do, those of you on RP servers, we're merged with Scryers, but if you catch me on Moonguard on a level 1, just chilling, don't be alarmed. I'm just there to report. I want to report the news, and I need to see the news as it's happening. So I have seen.
Have you been to Moonguard?
I went once very briefly.
Have you seen the inn in Moonguard?
I didn't get 10 feet before I was bombarded with whispers asking me.
It's insane, yes.
Asking me what I was wearing underneath my robe. So, with that being said, I do not.
Very nice.
To which I responded, whatever blizzard animated under the robe is what I'm wearing.
If you want to know what someone on your role playing server is wearing underneath their robe, they're wearing this guy.
What's concerning, they kind of draw that back in there's no question about the anal and everything like that.
Yeah, can you help me?
And the FBI agents, you don't know who's on the other side of that keyboard. And I don't understand the childish anal jokes and stuff like that. Every once in a while, yes, I'll throw it. Hey, did somebody say Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker? Yes, I will do that. I'm that type of guy. But I'm not the one to do, anal scourge and stuff like that. I'm sorry. And because they're just drawing that out, and they know the young kids are going to be doing it. But you're getting close to a line that you don't want to cross.
I would not want. I don't even like my children playing. I'm glad that the younger ones don't like it. I couldn't imagine them seeing the stuff in trade chat, which is fine. It's not for kids.
I've got a 9-year-old that gets on every once in a while. She plays, but I have every single chat disabled.
Oh,
and when
she's
playing, and she's going around doing her quest with her little mage that she has. And I don't know why she picked mage, but she does her little thing, and I sit there with her.
It only has 3 buttons. It's super easy for her to learn.
That's it. So a 9-year-old can play a mage. Now we know why Frysa does it, so we're good.
So I'm going to call Frysa out right now, and I know what Frysa's doing right now, and it's not paying attention to the end of the podcast. He's playing Battlefield, and I'm a little disappointed because I never thought I was
playing Battlefield.
You're a liar and a fat mouth because I know that's what you're doing. There it is, folks. I have officially called out. Oh, you just minimized it really quickly.
Hold on. No, it's not. It's not zooming in. Hold on. Look, there's no Battlefield on. I was playing World of Warcraft.
Okay, that's acceptable. Totally acceptable. So we are going to wrap this show up. We are going to wrap this show up. Before we end the show, I got an inbox, email inbox from a fan, and I'm going to read you what he said first, and then I'm going to have everybody respond accordingly. Are you guys ready? Here's the email. This is an email to info@pwnecast.net, which Let me preface by saying, if you have a question for us that you want us to read on the show and you want us to answer, go to pwnecast.net or email us at info@pwnecast.net and we'll get it answered for you on the show. His name, the email it's from some random guy. That's what he calls himself.
It's really? Wow. All right.
Some random guy. And he's a guy, not a girl. He says, I like you guys. I like you a lot. If your podcast was a person, I would totally screw the shit out of it.
Nice.
Feeling violated.
That's how I know it's a guy. Girls talk like that sometimes, but not like this. So he says, my question is, why did you all pick the characters that you did?
Oh,
so
good
for
question.
your mains. So we'll start with you, Spam.
I'll go last.
You want me to start with my plethora of multiple?
No. What
tunes?
your very first love in game?
My very first tune that I ever played was a dwarvish hunter named Muttley because my fraternity pledge name was Muttley. Those of you who may remember the 1970s, there's a little cartoon dog that's snickering sidekick of a basically a Nazi guy named Dick Dastardly with a long trench coat. And Muttley hangs out with this bad guy, Dick Dastardly, and he snickers. He giggles and snickers at the bumbling of his bad guy boss leader, boss guy, Dick Dastardly, yeah. So I'm Muttley before I was ever a Spam. So my first tune was, he looked just like me. He had the beard and he had the hair and he's about my height.
The question is why? Why did you pick the hunter?
Why a hunter? Well, I got bitch slapped by some friends when they found out that I started playing WoW, and they said I was on the wrong server and that I should come over to Argent Dawn. So when I came over and I typed in Muttley, it was available on a server that had overpopulation on the first day when we came on. Why a hunter? Because I don't know, maybe because the intro, the World of Warcraft intro video is really cool, and it's got a dwarf hunter with a cool bear. Because I was a dwarf hunter with a cool bear, so
they all were.
So that guy from the original vanilla intro, that was my first tune.
Nice. So. Nate or Lycan, what about you? Why did you choose the Death Knight?
My very first tune was a hunter as well. Of course, everybody goes and picks up one elf when they're playing Horde. And we had our tank drop out, and I had been just playing the game for about 2-3 months. Really wanted to get into tanking, thought it was a great idea, so I rolled a Death Knight, just because I can go from 58 to 80 quite quickly. Mm-hmm. When I picked so the Death Knight, that was, it's kind of a generic story, but with the Lycan though, when I brought him over, I came over to Draenor, which is the tune I had started him on. I absolutely love the lore behind the war game. With their battles with the undead and everything going on with them being shielded themselves off from the rest of the Alliance because of everything that had gone on. It was an absolutely wonderful quest line, and I enjoyed the like I said, the whole lore behind them. But yeah, the Death Knight, it was originally an undead Death Knight, which makes absolutely no sense. Because not only were you killed and brought back to life, but killed again and brought back to life and killed again. The Death Knight to me though has gone from this hero class that was called back in the Wrath of the Lich King to now is just such an integral part of the classes that you can pick in the WoW community.
Agreed.
I think they have their own little niche that they do. They've got their own little part of the world, and those who are dedicated to the Death Knight, those who are members of the Even Blade, are a class of our own. We have a definitely uniqueness about us.
Nice. That was pretty deep, actually, for it being simple as you stated. Frysa's going to go last, so I'd imagine he's got a tale to tell since he played with Ben. Me, I'm really, really not complicated whatsoever when it comes to my choosings. Any game I've ever played, I've always chosen a very strong female wizardry type. Because I couldn't roll a Merlin, naturally the warlock is the next step up. Those
so
of you that know
not a mage? Mage wasn't.
Well, I'm going to tell you why. Obviously, you guys know I love Lord of the Rings. I love everything that goes in fantasy like that. That's why my guild is the Riders of Rohan. But the warlock specifically, what was most appealing to me, because I did a great deal of research before I picked her in 2009. Oh, let me tell you. I did a great deal of research because picking your very first tune is the equivalent to making sure you have the best, most comfortable ruse ever. When you're picking ruse and you're at Walmart buying your ruse, it's a very serious decision. So the reasoning is the way that they get their magic. Because of what they tap into to get their power was very appealing to me, because although it comes from a very dark place, it is used for the powerful, the greater good. But because they have the ability to walk that line, to be able to tap in to the bad and use it for the good, to me that symbolized a little bit of psychology. That symbolized myself, the rebel, walking the line between the good and the bad. So there really was a deeper reason on why I became a warlock, and it really was because of that, the way that they use the dark magic, and they use all things dark, and they end up using it for light at the end. Deep, right? You guys didn't even know.
You said mine was deep. Now it sounds like I just flipped a coin to pick
You guys didn't even know there was a reason I rolled a freaking warlock. Yes, that is the reason.
And the bun.
I assumed it was because she had like purple and green.
The bun, the bun is because the bun looked really sophisticated on a human, and obviously people get so upset when they find out I'm a human warlock. Why would you play a role-playing game if you're a human? Because I fucking chose to, and I pay my own subscription. Who cares? But she does have white hair because I still tried to bring that wizard, that, you know, most wizards, or in your typical history of wizards, they typically have white hair, such as Merlin and you know.
Don't call warlocks wizards, please. Thank you.
No, not at all.
Casters, they're casters.
But to me,
I hate wizards, by the way. Go ahead.
But to me, a caster is an old school wizard. I'm speaking old school wizard back in the days of Merlin. That's what I yeah. So you guys didn't even know I had a deeper meaning for being a warlock.
Wow.
All right, mine's not even close to being that deep at all. Mine's all emotional. Mine's pure emotion. So I was a warrior, tank warrior. I was a Fury warrior, but I was mostly protection. I was Fury for PvP, protection for PvE. I was a warrior in Vanilla, warrior in BC, warrior in Wrath, a warrior in Kata. And then when Mists of Pandaria came out, I decided to change. Now, this is why I decided to change, was in every PvP match. I'll make stand up. I don't know if my head's is.
Are you gonna twerk? Because that would be
no. So in PvP, I was a warrior, and what I would do I would run into the match in a BG, RBG, or whatever it was, and the first thing I would do, I'd be running around. All of a sudden, I'm stuck. I'm frozen, and I'm sitting there like, come on, go, defrozen. Come on, dead. So I did that for about 7 years, and I just couldn't move. I couldn't do a thing, and I said, who was always doing this to me? And it was a frost mage. Frost mages were warriors' enemy. Man, the aces dominate warriors. They dominate anybody who was melee.
They still do, yeah.
And they still do, depending on who the player is. But I decided on Mists of Pandaria to literally disown my warrior. I never played him, didn't touch him. And warriors back then were horrible
get
tanks.
More hate mail, you know that.
I know they were horrible tanks. They had very low taunts. They had they weren't really that good like they are today. They're not the warrior you know today. They're not even the same idea of a warrior they were today. Now they're huge. Now they're amazing now.
So let me get this straight. You rolled a mage because the mage was what was owning you, so you decided basically you can't beat him, you join him.
Right.
I can't beat him, I join him. So I became a frost mage, fell in love with my tune, and I hated my warrior. For all those years, 6 years, I played a character I hated.
There you have it.
I lost sleep over it. I hated my warrior. Every day I got on, I was like, why am I a warrior? Why am I doing this? And then Mists of Pandaria came out. I said, it's time for change. Frost Mage it is. I am doing it. I'm going to go all the way, and I love it. I absolutely love my Frost Mage. I'm never going to go back, although I do regret a lot of my...
So how long did it take you to level from 1 to 90 with your...
30 days.
30 days, a month?
1 to 90. Okay, yeah. But the Frost Mage, I wish I would have went Warlock in a way, but I think I would have went Frost Mage eventually.
I think you would have too. You don't fancy the Warlock.
No, I don't fancy the whole turret thing, but yeah. But yeah, so that's why I picked my character, because it was owning me in PvP, so I decided to join that bandwagon.
So to some random guy, I hope that answered your question. We thank you for being a fan of the show. Anybody else that has questions, go to facebook.com/Pwnecast. I'm going to talk like the Micro Machine guy because we are extremely over time. I do apologize for this slightly longer episode than normal. We did have a lot of stuff to talk about, and it was a very, very good episode, I think. Thank you for sticking it out with us. Please go to facebook.com/Pwnecast. Go to pwnecast.net. If you have questions, anything you want to hear about the show, make sure you check out our Facebook page. We are giving away a little mini Arthas figure. We just gave away a Illidan last week, a little mini figure. Make sure you go check that out. And if there's anything else you guys need from us, please make sure you inbox us, and we'll make sure that we get it taken care of. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for just joining us every week. We would be nothing without you, and really we're not anything important. We are just here to entertain you because that's what we like to do. So. Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. We're all glad that you could make it out. And with that, we are going to wrap it up. Bye. That's my favorite part, is the floating, waving, wanding hands. Bye.
Spirit fingers.
No spirit fingers ever. No man should ever say spirit fingers.